Hey there, it's Jennifer. I normally share cards in my videos. Today I have a card for you, but I also have a fun DIY mini treat basket. It is super easy to make, very quick and simple. And I think it'd be fun to make for the Easter holiday that's right around the corner. So I'm going to show you how to make both of these today in this video. Now this little basket would be perfect to hold any kind of little mini loaf treat. And my friend Melanie Bauer at melaniemakes.com came up with a great carrot mini loaf recipe. And this little basket is perfect to hold that mini loaf. So be sure to check out the link below and I will send you over to her blog where you can get the great recipe. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make the little basket and also the matching card. So let's go ahead and start with the little mini basket. I have a piece of craft cardstock here. Any kind of cardstock would work. I have this cut to 6 3/4 by 8 1/4, and this will end up with the perfect size with a little room for a mini loaf. Now I'm going through and I'm doing a score line 2 inches in from each side. Now I'm just using my trimmer, like the little ledge in my trimmer, and my scoring tool to do this. You could use a scoreboard, or you can just go ahead and do the folds on their own. Now I'm going to go ahead and crease these in and make sure that all of these folds are done nicely. Now I did the 8 1/4 by 6 3/4 measurement here. You could go a little bit smaller if you want to and just do 6 1/2 by 8. You could do whatever measurements you want and make any size box that you want. But this works great for the mini loaf. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a box, and this is the super easy way to do it. I cut along the crease line on the 4 corners. So you'll see I'm doing it on the long edges of this. I'm going to cut right from the edge up to the corner on all 4 of these. Now this is the easy part that'll turn it into a box. I'm going to go and cut diagonally on each of the corners, all the way from the corner of the paper to the corner of the score lines. So this is very quick and easy to do, and you could make any cardstock size into any size box that you might need. Now your cut lines for these diagonals, they don't have to be perfect, just as long as you're from the outside corner to the inside corner, because these will be inside the box so nobody will see them. Now I'm going to fold each of these triangles in and cover them generously with adhesive. You want to use a lot of adhesive here just to make sure your little box doesn't fall apart. Once I have all 4 of the triangles covered with adhesive, we just start to fold it into a little basket or a little box. So I'm going to tuck the triangles on the inside, and that keeps the outside of the box perfectly clean so you can add any kind of decorations to it that you may want to. Now this will fit a little mini loaf. I did build in a little extra room, so there's room if you want to add some packaging around the little mini loaf. But this is like a little bit wider than 2 1/2 inches, a little bit longer than 4 inches, and about 2 inches tall. Now for the handle on my basket, I have a strip of cardstock here. This is just scrap left over from the piece I cut before. It's 11 inches long, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment on it at the center of this strip. Now if you don't have a stamp set, you could just print something on your computer and cut it out, or you can hand write a message there. I have some Hero Arts Unicorn White Pigment ink that I'm stamping a My Favorite Things Happy Easter message on here. And I'm putting my T-ruler here so I can figure out what the center would be on this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I wanted to roughly get it right. So I'm going to stamp happy, and then I'll stamp Easter. And this will end up serving as the handle on our basket. Now I will actually adhere this handle so you could lift it from it and it will hold the weight of it. So now that I've stamped my greeting, I'm going to go ahead and trim it so it's a little more narrow so it works perfect with the size of the basket that we've done. So I'm just going to trim off the extra here. And now I'm going to put a score line on each end of this handle, about 3/4 of an inch from the end. And this will be the flaps that kind of support the basket. So I'm going to fold this over and crease it nicely. And then on each of these flaps, and a little bit farther up on the flaps, I'm going to put some adhesive. So you'll see on the little flap I'm putting some adhesive, and about 1 inch up from it too. And this will hold it on to our basket. So now I'm going to put this on the outside here so it can support it. I'll put it right along the outside, kind of center it up there, wrap the other one around, and there we have the hand on the basket. Very quick and easy to do, and it gives it enough support that you can put the little carrot cake in there and it can hold the weight. You could even fill this for candy for your kids if you wanted to. So now I also wanted to show you how to create a large paper bow. You could put a ribbon on here and make your own bow, but I didn't have any ribbon that I found that would be the perfect match, so I'm just going to create mine from paper. There are many dies out there that you can buy to create paper bows, but I wanted to show you a quick and easy way that you can create one yourself. So I have some pattern paper here that I've cut to 1 1/2 inches by 7 inches, and I'm going to put adhesive on the 2 ends. Now watch how I do this. I just fold the two ends and meet them together roughly in the middle and glue them down. So you end up with like a loop on both sides. Very quick and easy to do. Now I want to make it look like a bow, so I'm going to cut diagonally in, and you can see I'm just eyeballing this. This does not have to be perfect. I'm going to cut from the corner of the loop to about a third of the way in on that center line where we met, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now I'm going to flip it over, and on the other side of the loop do the exact same thing, meeting up with the cuts on the other side. So again, I'm just eyeballing this. This doesn't have to be perfect. So there we have it, starting to look a little bit more like a bow. So now I've just cut a tiny little piece of scrap paper here, and this will be the center that wraps around the bow and looks like the knot of the bow. This is about 1/2 of an inch wide, about 3/4 inch long. Decided to put a foam dot underneath it so that it kind of raises up just to give us some fun dimension. Since this is going on a basket, we can have some fun dimension on it. And then I'll fold the other ends back and glue them down. And there we have what looks like a dimensional bow, but it's made out of paper. Quick and easy to do. I also decided I wanted to have the two ends of this so-called bow kind of hanging out the bottom there with the V cuts. So to make those, I just cut 2 rectangle pieces of the same paper. These are about 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And I'm going to cut this one side to a V. So I do a cut down the center and then cut from the corner to the top of that cut line. And then I'm going to cut this a little bit diagonally in just to kind of match the feel of that bow. And since I'm cutting both pieces at once, I end up with my two ends that are perfectly the same. So you can make these little V ends come out the sides of the bow if you wanted to, or angle them down a bit. Now I decided to go with the kind of angled down, so I'm going to glue these onto the side of my basket. And then I'm going to use another foam dot to add my bow on top of that. So by adding the foam dots to it, you get a little bit of dimension, and it looks like a bow, but you made it out of paper. I don't know about you, but I don't like to have tons of ribbon around and spend the money on it, so this is a great way to kind of make your own bows. Now I wanted to show you how I did the little bunny for this basket and also how to make the matching card. This is very quick and easy. I'm using some dies, and these dies, these bunny dies, are from Impression Obsession. I just think they are the cutest little bunny dies ever. And I'm going to put these through my Big Shot and cut them little die cuts from some white cardstock. I also have this grass die. This one's from Clearly Besotted. Now if you don't have these dies, you could get little bunny stickers, or you can print one on your computer and cut it out. Now I've cut all these from white cardstock. I love cutting my die cuts from white cardstock because then I can add my own color to them. So I'm using Copic markers here, but any kind of markers would work. This is YG23, and then I'm going to add some darker color to it with YG17, just to add some dimension to those leaves. But again, you could color these with ink, Crayola markers, whatever you want. And I'm going to use this little grass die cut on the card, and the bunnies I'm going to use one on the card and one on the little basket. I thought it'd be fun to have a little pom-pom tail on the bunnies, so I'm putting a little dot of matte medium here just to hold that little bunny tail on, but you can use any kind of adhesive. And then I'm just taking a pink marker to add some pink to the bunny's ears and then to his nose. It's just a great way to take a plain white die cut and add a little fun to it. I added the same pink coloring and little tail to one of the other bunnies, and I'm just using a foam dot to add this to the basket. You can see how you could do a lot of these pieces at once and make several of these baskets. Very quick and easy to do. Now the matching card is super easy also. I've cut it down so it's a small card. It's 3 inches by 4 inches. And I have a piece of that leftover pattern paper that I used on the bow on the basket. And I just cut a strip and I'm going to put it down on towards the bottom of the card and cut off the excess. Now I have my little grass that I did before. I cut it apart because I thought I might only want to use half of it, but decided I ended up needing all of it. So I'm gluing down both halves of it right above that pattern paper strip. And then I'll put my bunny on top of that. However, when I put the bunny on there, I felt like it needed something else along that pool colored strip. So I'm going to create my own pink matching strip to go with it. So using that same pink marker that I used on the bunny, I colored some cardstock, some plain white cardstock, so that I could have my own little strip that perfectly matched the bunny. Put adhesive on the back of that and add that to the card, and now it kind of all has that little finishing touch that perfectly matches the bunny. I'm using some sentiments from that same My Favorite Things stamp set to stamp Easter treats on here, and then I gave my bunny a black eye. That sounds terrible, but I just added a little dimensional black eye to it, and now it matches our little basket. So there you have a fun and easy way to take your paper crafting products and make a sweet treat for the Easter holiday, and you could easily change this up for any holiday. Now, if you're interested in any of these products, they're linked below in my YouTube description. And you can click on over to my blog. The link is right here in the corner. And you can find more information about these projects and also the recipe from Melanie Makes that fits perfectly into this little basket. If you have any questions, head on over to my blog, and I hope to see you again soon.